Hello my beautiful angels, welcome back to another video. My name is Angie and today we're going to be using the Blood Sugar palette. I'm actually very excited about how this eye look turned out. I think it's one of my favorites so far. This palette came a few days after I got the Blue Bloods palette. But I have not used it. I was waiting to make a video for it, so it's freshly out of its packet right now. As you can see, I already have my eyebrows and my lids primed, so I'm starting off with M433 and the shade Candy Floss, and this is going to be my transition color. So I'm just going back and forth, and this time actually I'm going right into that inner corner. So I'm going back and forth, but for this eye look, I do want to focus in the inner corner as well. So now I'm going in with the M453, and I'm grabbing the shade Fresh Meat. And this shade, as you can see, I'm putting it deeper into my crease, right into the socket. And same as the other shadow, I am making sure to focus it in the inner corner as well. The same amount of shadow that I'm placing in the outer corner, I will be placing in the inner corner, since this is going to be a halo look. So now I'm going in with my BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm grabbing the shade Extraction. And I'm starting off with the outer corner and the inner corner, really packing in that shadow because I do want to deepen it up even more. And then I'm going to be blending it in, connecting it in my crease. So I want most of that shadow in my inner and outer corner because we will be cutting the center of my lid. Using the same brush, I'm going to grab Coma, which is the darkest shade in the palette, and right where we just put Extraction, I will be adding this shade, and this is just to make sure I deepen up the look. I want to make sure that the inner and outer corners of my lids are dark so that the focus will be on the shimmer shadow that we will be placing on the center of our lid. So now I'm going in with some concealer and a small brush, and I'm going to be using the same technique that I use when I'm doing a half cut crease. So I place a little bit of concealer near my lash line and then look up. That way it gives me a guide of where to cut my crease. And then I just drag it down and make sure that the cut is very defined. So I actually finished the other eye off camera, and then I took a food break. And now I am going in with a BH Cosmetics packing brush and the shade Sweetener. It's kind of like a peachy pink with gold reflex shadow. It's actually very pretty. And I'm setting the concealer with that shade. So just packing it on to the lid and making sure we don't mess up that defined line that we have at the very top. So now I'm going back in with the shade Fresh Meat, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of that concealer just to make sure it blends very nicely in with the rest of the shadows. And now I'm going in with the BH Cosmetics blending brush, and I'm grabbing Coma with just the tiniest bit of black because I do want the inner and outer corner to be very, very dark, and just blending it out even more just to make everything look very seamless and blended out. And I'm just going in with Fresh Meat again just to retouch up. And in case you make any mistake, just go ahead and grab some of the shade Sweetener again, in case you lose that intensity of the spotlight you're supposed to have in the middle. So now I'm just going in with some mascara in my falsies, and these falsies are by the brand Lashes by Hermione. You could find her on Instagram, and I will post her information down below in the description bar. Now, I actually really like these lashes. They're very full and fluttery. They reach my eyebrows. I believe these are the longest eyelashes that I own. So now we're moving on to the face. I'm using my No Pore Blend Primer, putting that on my face, and as always I do mix my Milani and my Too Faced foundation to get the right shade, even though they are both the shade Porcelain. So first I go in with my brush. Now this day I went a little bit crazy with my foundation and I applied way too much. But thankfully I always go in with a brush to blend it out, and then I go in with my sponge. So that did help me take off the extra foundation that I had put on, because I don't know if you could tell, but it is way too much and I was just caking it on that day. And for concealer, I am using my Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm putting that underneath my eyes, the sides of my nose, the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and my forehead. And I'm just going to blend that out with my Real Techniques sponge. So just blending everything out. I mainly focus on the sides of my nose and underneath my eye, just because underneath my eye I do have just the slightest bit of redness, and also on the sides of my mouth as well. So I'm just blending out with my sponge, and I will be setting it with my Too Faced Cocoa Contour in the light cocoa powder, and my Real Techniques brush, just making sure that it is all set so that my under eyes won't crease. To set the rest of my face, I'll be using my Fit Me face powder and my big powder brush. For bronzer today, I'm actually using the Butter Bronzer, and I actually really like it. I love the smell of this bronzer. I know a lot of people use it, but I hadn't bought it, so I'm glad that I was actually able to use it this time. So now for my contour, just as always, I'm going in with the Kat Von D contour palette, the Shade and Light contour palette. So now I'm going to bake with my Fit Me loose setting powder underneath my contour, just to clean it up, in the sides of my nose, because we want a snatched nose. For my blush today, I'm actually going in with a new one. It's the Dulce Pink by Milani. For my highlight, I'm using the Purple Dream from Artist Couture, just because it does have some reflex of a light pink, so I thought it would go great with this shadow. And as you guys know, I am really obsessed with this highlight right now. So now I'm just going to remove my bake, that way I could highlight my cupid's bow, the tip of my nose, and the bridge of my nose, now that we've removed all the bake. So now we can finish up the under eye with a small angled brush. I am going to be grabbing Coma and just getting it as close to the bottom lash line as I can, and then blending it out with Fresh Meat. And for my inner corner highlight, just because I really did think it went really nicely with this look, I just added some Purple Dream into my inner corner, and then just set my entire face with my setting spray. Alright, and that is it for this look, you guys. Halo eyes have never been my forte. I do struggle with them a bit, but I actually really liked how this eye look turned out. If you did too, make sure to like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on my next video.